what were your, I guess, some of your predictions on this Chiefs and Raiders,
Uh,
Ravens?
Chiefs, man, Chiefs. Initially going into the playoffs, I'm thinking the Ravens was gonna do it, but when I seen how they played against the Texans in that first half, initially, it just showed me that I think their offense isn't gonna be as good as I thought they were gonna be. Um, so like in everything, and I made a post on my socials about it. That Chiefs defense is very good, especially at the DB position. So I Lamar Jackson has thrown. This is probably his best year throwing the football, but
Mhm.
I knew his accuracy was going to be tested. And you know the best way to stop a running quarterback is to blitz them and have very tight coverage, and that's what they've been able to do. And now that they're winning, now that the Ravens are losing by 10 points, now they're playing from behind. So now you really pretty much
Have to
and
throw.
the Chiefs get the Chiefs have the edge because they get the ball at half also. So and it's very hard for them to stop the Ravens also, which I figured was going to be the case. Everybody was worried about the Chiefs offense, but it's just I don't know. I always see things differently than everybody else. Um, and the way I see Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback ever, and I don't see how Tom Brady did well with less weapons, and that's how
Mhm.
I see Patrick Mahomes right now. He doesn't have as many weapons as he's had before, but he still has Travis Kelce, and he's still in his prime. So I see them winning the Super Bowl. Truly, that was my take, and I see them finishing this game. I don't think they can stop. I don't think they can stop. I don't think the Ravens can stop the Chiefs. They have, but
Mhm.
it was almost like that first drive that they stopped them. Like they on the first down, they kind of they kind of went for it on the deep ball. That was like their first deep ball, and then the second down was messed up. Even on this last drive that they ended up kicking that field goal, if it wasn't for those flags being called, Kansas City would have scored a touchdown. So it's looking like the Ravens really can't stop the Chiefs, and it's looking like the Chiefs can stop the Ravens at the end of the day. And now the Ravens are playing from behind, so they're gonna have to throw the ball. So what about you? What you think?
Just going in, I mean, I felt like it would be an uphill battle for the Ravens. It would take a very well coached game for them to win. I just feel like you're saying, the Chiefs just have all the intangibles. Like Pat Mahomes, he's battle tested. He's been here plenty of times.
Right,
Um, I don't even think they were worried. Like
right,
I think they went down seven. They were like 7-4 or something this year. They wouldn't even. I wasn't worried either because I'm just like they're just trying to get to the playoffs to where they can, what I'm saying, string some wins together.
right.
But when it comes to Lamar Jackson, I'm going for the Ravens right now. I like both teams equally, but I feel like he doesn't really get his just due. They're putting a lot of pressure on him right now. Like Chris Jones, he's
Yeah.
he's he's messing up a lot of what they're trying to do. But I would love to see Lamar get loose, make some big plays.
And he's making good plays too. I'm not watching it. I'm listening to it while I drive. So
Yeah, he had
like
an
that, like
incredible
what
play,
that little that touchdown he threw sounded like it was a very big play. That
bro.
catch he when it,
He threw
that
it.
catch. I'm
Mm-hmm.
listening.
Yeah, he threw a ball, it got deflected, and he caught it. Like I've never seen that type of play ever
Yeah, I
through
have to
all the
see
time
that
playing
highlight.
football.
But that tells me, and he turned over the ball also. Uh, I think he's gonna turn over the ball again. I see him throwing an interception. These throws are it sounds like, and you can tell me because I'm sure you're watching it. Some of these batted balls could be interceptions.
Yeah, there was about two of them that could have been interceptions. They're getting the
So
pressure on them. That's I would say that's where Mahomes is better at. I feel like he deals with pressure a little bit better. Like
yeah,
you're rarely going to see Pat Mahomes fumble. Like
Right.
something make him fumble, like from behind or
Right.
from the side. He knows he's very elusive. Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm seeing is that he knows how to extend any play can be extended. Um,
Right.
but I mean, I don't want to get too much into the politics of it, but I mean, I feel like
It's rigged.
not necessarily that it's even rigged. I mean, you have to go out there and play, but I mean, you have to understand like which team has more marketability going into the next round. I just don't feel like the Ravens have enough firepower or even star power for them to
So I was
beat.
about to. I I've been thinking about making a post about the rig stuff, and I don't believe the NFL is rigged because we both got friends that's in the NFL. So if it was rigged, we'd know. You know what I'm saying? And I also feel like even on a slight in a slight sense, how you're talking. And this is basically, and I'll just do it here. I was going to make like a little post. I'll just do it here and clip it up or something. I feel like if the NFL was rigged at all, the Cowboys would have been in a Super Bowl by now because they're the biggest brand in the league, one of the biggest brands in sports,
That's a
and
good.
nothing would be bigger than them being in the Super Bowl.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
That would be the biggest as far as just like views for sure. But I feel like it's almost even like being a Cowboys fan. That's a part of it. It's just like not being able to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, um,
Yeah, but that's just recently over the last 20 years. It is. Um,
they had a string where that was getting there. What you got any predictions for the Lions and 49ers game? Like, what are your
yeah,
thoughts on it?
I got the 49ers. I got the 49ers beating the Lions. I think both games, I'll be watching game to game and seeing how the teams play against certain teams and what they do. Um, the Lions, the Lions, I don't want to say barely, but it was barely. It was like both games were one possession games. So the Lions beating Tampa Bay by one possession. And if Baker Mayfield could have drive down the field, they could have been in this game right now. It it just tells me, and Tampa Bay, only reason why Tampa Bay is there is because the Cowboys lost to them, right? So it's like, um, I don't think they're good enough to beat the 49ers. I just don't think so. But watching the 49ers also it was a one possession game against the Packers, who again overachieved. These are two teams that
Mhm.
overachieved. I forget who the Packers lost to. Well, it was like the Eagles. The Eagles, we expected the Eagles and the Cowboys to do better, and that's what it was. The
Mhm.
Eagles and the Cowboys were supposed to be in the spots where the Lions, not the Lions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Packers were. So just seeing how the 49ers and both the Lions barely were able to beat those teams, um, I feel like whoever wins this AFC championship is gonna win the Super Bowl because um I think the 49ers are the top three teams in the league at the moment. And I think it's 49ers, Ravens, Chiefs. One of those three are the best teams in the league. But I do believe that the better quarterback is gonna win the Super Bowl. So
Patrick
I see
Mahomes.
you know what I mean? Like Brock Purdy struggling in that game against the Packers, who's going to be a very good team in the future. I see him struggling again today, or I see it being a close game against the Lions, but the 49ers is just a better team. So I see them beating the Lions. And um, so that's really my Super Bowl pick. I see the Chiefs finishing this, and I see the 49ers finishing it against the Lions, and then the Chiefs and the 49ers do a rematch.
Okay. So I'm guessing like this second half of this Ravens game, you think they'll win by more than 10 or less than 10?
I see. I'm not good at those type of I think it'll be like it'll be less than 10.
Okay.
I think it'll be less than 10. I the Ravens got fight in them. So Lamar's gonna come out, and I can see them putting up points, but they can't run the ball. They can't
Mhm.
waste time. Especially if the Chiefs kick another field goal, because that's all they got to do. The Chiefs are a different team when they're ahead, and they're a different team when they're behind also. So, like, I feel like the Chiefs could, score as soon as they get the ball, and then the Ravens is going to put pressure on them. And I think that they'll score. Like, they can score the rest of the game, all of their possessions, and still lose, because it's going to
Mhm.
be hard for them to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are better at the end of games. They just are. And like you said, they're battle tested. And like when you see somebody play in the postseason, like I'm postseason oriented, so when I see a team being successful and their key nucleus is still around, Andy Reid,
Mhm.
Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Chris Jones, that offensive line is pretty good, even though that one lineman is hurt. Um, and Pacheco, like he runs the ball well. He runs angry. Rasheed Rice is stepping up. Um, it's gonna be hard for the Ravens to come back and win the game. It's
For
gonna
sure.
be Lamar is gonna have to play perfect. He's gonna have to play better than he's ever played in order to win. He's capable of it, but you're also asking Patrick Mahomes to
To not have a good game.
exactly. So while he's ahead, that's
Yeah. Yeah. Just I'm not even super duper huge Lamar fan, but I just feel like people are slighting him. I feel like he's had better his last two seasons have been better than his MVP season, damn near. And
yeah.
it just seems like people don't want to give him credit. Like there's always people, you know what I'm saying he's not a real quarterback or something. It's like, yeah, I just
And
wanted.
I'm skeptical of him because, like I said, like I'm skeptical of players who haven't done it in the playoffs, and he hasn't done it other than the last game he just played against the Texans. He just hasn't done it, and it's not even about him running. It's about, again, like I'm of the quarterbacks. If you can throw the ball when you need to throw it, everybody knows you got to throw it. It's easy to scheme a passing game when your running game is working. You know what I'm saying? But when your running game isn't working and the defense knows you're throwing the ball, that's when the quarterback has to be very accurate, has to make very good decisions, and you have to do it under pressure. So because we haven't seen him do it in the playoffs, that's how I feel personally. I think he's a great talent. I think he's top five quarterback. They weren't talking about him being a top five quarterback last year, and that didn't make sense to me. But like it's very hard to play quarterback at the highest level. And that because it's hard to make the decision under pressure, split second, and be accurate. It's extremely hard. And that's why, the best of the best that can do it win more Super Bowls, because it's not easy. So, I know a lot of people are very skeptical about him. I think he's a great player and he has a Super Bowl in him. And this is the best year for him to win it. This is the best year for him to win it. You know what I'm saying? Because Joe Burrow is down, Justin Herbert isn't in the playoffs, and now Jim Harbaugh is coming. Um, what's the name? CJ Stroud is going to be nice next year. Trevor Lawrence and them, they're going to be pretty cold. Um, who knows what Caleb Williams is going to be like? This is a good year for him to win it. So
I think he needs.
I think he's just,
I think he needs more
yeah.
around him. I mean,